So today, what I'm dealing with is a problem where my tractor is not wanting to start, and I'm concerned that it's a problem with the starter. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just prove that it's not a voltage issue with the battery. I've already taken it to a local car parts store, and they've run a test on the battery just to make sure that there's not a problem with the cold cranking amps. But now I'm going to try to prove to myself that they ran their test correctly, and that I'm getting a actual 12 volts when I test it myself. And so what I want to be doing now is just trying to test and see if I get 12 volts. I'm going to try and do this in a way that will allow me to show you what I'm getting. And when I am connected here, the negative and the positive, then I'm getting right around 12.8. So it's jumping around just a little bit. My connections are probably not the best here, but I'm getting right around 12. See if that's better. Getting 12.8 volts. So my battery, voltage wise, is working properly. With the battery connected back up, I'm going to have my dad up here turn the ignition, and going to see if there's a drop in you're going to see if there's a drop in that current. It should drop a little bit when the ignition key turns, if my wiring is where it needs to be. And again, you can see here we're at 12.87. So now we're going to turn the ignition switch. Now we're going to turn the ignition switch. Now we're going to turn the ignition switch. Just put your foot on the brake, so just in case. It's the pedals on this side. Both of them. Okay. Okay, let off. Let off. Okay. So we're dropped a little bit. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's a buzzing taking place over here. It sounds like it's coming from a starter. So I don't know if that's appreciable or not. I've not been hearing that buzzing in the past, but that's something that I'm hearing now. So it's a good indicator that it's a starter issue. We need you to go ahead and turn the key back to the stop position for me. There we go. Okay, so that explains the buzzing sound. So we were still turned on, so the switch was still engaged, but we were not getting any power to the starter, it seems like. So we're going to try that one more time. We're going to turn the ignition, and we see a drop of about a half volt. Now, there we go. And now when the ignition switch is turned off, we start to gain some voltage back, get back close to that 12.6 that we were at before. So we do have a drop. We do have some power potentially going to the solenoid. Now we just got to test and see if it's actually going across the solenoid, going to the starter or not. Here we have the starter, which is red down here, and has the danger sign on it here, and then the solenoid up here that has the batteries coming into it from the cables coming into it from the battery, and both of those items need to be checked just to see if things are working. So the question now is going to be trying to see if there's power going across the solenoid when the ignition switch is turned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the bolt there, the threaded post, and see if it gets a power change of about 5.5 volts when the ignition switch is turned, while I'm touching the smaller post down at the bottom of the solenoid. May not be able to see this as well. So when I say turn the switch, you do just like you just did, okay? Okay? Alright, turn it off. Okay, go again. Okay, stop. And one more time. Okay, stop. One more time. All right, stop. So you can see we're getting a little bit of a, so you can see we're having a change in the voltage across the solenoid, and we're having a noise when that power change occurs, but the engine is not cranking. So at this point it seems like a good bet that the starter is not working. That seems like the most likely scenario, since everything else seems to be functioning properly, and it's the starter that's just not kicking in and doing its job. So the next thing will be to replace the starter.